Morning. Wasn't really going to make a video for Saturday, but this one shocked me when I saw it this morning. This is something that actually happened in January, but is only just coming out in the news now. You'll know that we are building a motorhome, and when people say to me, what's your plans for the motorhome when you've finished it? The only real answer that I have is, we're going to aim for a Greek island and we're going to stop off everywhere beautiful in between. But it seems that the everywhere beautiful in between is going to have to be the destination. Motorhomes and caravans are now no longer allowed to park in public areas, right? So this came out in the news kind of yesterday. So I've got a couple of different articles to look at. However, this happened in January. So I'm going to look at a few different sources. And can I also say, can I have a moan while I do this, right? So this is on the Daily Express. And now you can pay to reject £1.99 a month, or they're going to track you with their myriad 1,496 partners. You can change your preferences and you can view our 1,496 partners or withdraw your consent. This cookies thing is getting ridiculous. And just before I get into the main meat of the video as well, can I just talk about getting noisy? Can I talk about watching live TV? I'm watching a lot of YouTube while we're here on holiday, and I can't sign into my account for some reason, so I'm watching it with the adverts on. And I'm finding that the adverts on YouTube aren't too bad. That's probably why you haven't signed up for YouTube Premium. And then last night, my wife was like, oh, can't we just watch something on the main telly? So we tried watching some live TV, and it was unbelievably painful. I guess it was like a Freeview sort of thing. We were trying to watch an episode of The Simpsons, and no joke, for every 5 minutes of The Simpsons we were able to watch, there was like 40 minutes of adverts. It was painful. And it made me realize that YouTube isn't actually that bad for adverts. It was shocking. I was getting extremely stressed trying to watch TV. And it's the same now when you try to use the internet. Like with this, I've opened the Express. I've got to accept their 1,496 partners. Then I've got to click that I don't want them to keep me updated. And then on the website itself, it's so full of adverts that I'm struggling to navigate to the story. And they've got a banner popping up for breaking news. It's insane. Like, the world around us is getting harder and harder to use. Have you noticed that? It's all deliberate. So, British tourists face £250 fine in Greece thanks to controversial new law. Small towns, rural shops and restaurants relying on the community may be impacted. Motorhomes and caravans are no longer allowed to park in public areas. Penalties range from €300, 255 quid, to 3 months in prison. Car parks, beaches, parks and forests are now strictly forbidden for hosting motorhomes. The law was introduced earlier this year and does not specify a time limit for staying in a public space. So even a brief stop could result in a fine. Now, interestingly, other articles that appear in the news for Greece. Number one, panic in Greece as huge cracks appear in streets and homes on popular island. And number two, Greece crisis as bombshell report shows 1 in 4 are on the brink of poverty. So why are they doing this in Greece? It basically means that the only place you can park your motorhome is on a proper campground, a proper campsite, as we would call it. There's been fierce opposition from the caravanning community because it affects caravans as well. Those people that drive Kia Sorentos and Hyundai Tucsons and tow big fiberglass and aluminium. They're not fiberglass, are they? They're aluminium, and they tow them all the way down the country. I'll probably become a caravan convert at some point. I'm not at the moment. I was never a motorhome guy, but I've now built a motorhome, so maybe I'll become a caravanist. So basically, there is some kickback happening. Caravans and motorhomes are important for Greece's off-season, eco-friendly and low-impact tourism sector. Critics argue the new law will put off domestic and international travellers from visiting. It will. Like I said, we were planning to drive to Greece. We're now probably not going to go as far as Greece. I need to have a look at how this impacts the Greek islands, because that's where we wanted to end up. But maybe in the comments people can help me. And then it's just pages and pages and pages of crappy clickbait adverts. So journalism is just a shadow of its former self. And now let's take a look at the story on Keep Talking Greece, the website. First, I've got to tell them I don't want to subscribe. Then I've got to consent. And these guys are only using 132 vendors and 65 ad partners. So my details are being shared amongst all of those. And this is on a Greek website. So this is keeptalkinggreece.com. Then I've got to close the Temu banner that's popped up at the bottom as well. That's now gone. And if I can navigate away from how you should walk to lose 30 pounds, oh, it's just painful. It's so painful. The internet is getting harder and harder to use. Campers are now not only prohibited from being installed wherever one wants to, but also to be parked in any public space, such as municipality parking lots, even for a short time, just for the purpose of making provisions or have a coffee while traveling around. So if you've driven to your campsite, you can't then go for a coffee in the town or the village because you'll get a €300 fine for being there. So tell me in the comments why you think this is going on. I suspect this is all to do with the restriction of movement. I think it's all to do with Agenda 21, Agenda 2030. It's all in line with that. They don't want you traveling around. They definitely don't want you living cheaply. They don't want you to have your freedom. And if this starts in Greece and not enough people kick up a fuss, it'll start to spread. Greece has its own problems at the moment, but it says currently there are 2,100 campers in Greece, with a large number coming from abroad. Note that free camping was criminalised in Greece in 2012. So if you're travelling with your caravan in Greece, you can park and install, it's the translation, in a legally operating campsite. But if you want to go to the nearby village or archaeological site, where 5 kilometres away, you have to call a taxi or a donkey or a jet ski. So at least they're seeing the funny side of this, but it does mean if you've got your caravan, you're okay, because you can detach your caravan and then drive off in your car. But at the same time, does that mean you're going to drive all the way through Greece in one hit? You can't park up. What about if you want a coffee, petrol, stop for some lunch, all of that stuff? Does that mean you're going to be fined €300? So that's that. You tell me in the comments. I'm going to keep an eye on this story as it develops, because, yeah, Greece has got some strange things going on at the moment. Anyway, there's another one here from Greek Reporter. Same thing, 132 vendors, 65 advert partners, controversial law. It also affects private property rights, explicitly prohibiting individuals from hosting more than one vehicle, even on their own land. So if you own a bit of land in Greece and you're offering it out in a sort of Airbnb setup for people that have got motorhomes, you can't do that for more than one vehicle. Although the law's been in effect since January 2025, it only recently garnered public attention. Oh, now it's popped up telling me to subscribe to the newsletter. I don't want to do that. When 3 members of the Hellenic Motorhome Club were fined by police in Kato Akrata on the Peloponnese, the incident sparked concern among the caravanning community, with ELAT quickly mobilising and bringing the law into public spotlight. Under the new regulation, any installation or parking of caravans in public spaces, such as parking lots, beaches, parks or forest areas, is strictly forbidden. And it does not specify a minimum time limit, meaning even a brief rest stop can be deemed a violation. Worrying stuff coming out of Greece. Right, now I'm going to get back to the live classic car auction that I'm watching right now over on the Historics Auctions YouTube channel. Head over there. I'll be there in the comments. I am logging values, and so far I've missed a Subaru SVX that sold for only £3,000, an Escort Cabriolet. They couldn't even get a bid of £1,000 on it, and it went for 500 quid. And my personal favourite, the electric Lotus 7 racing car. He opened the bidding at £2,000 and went, "Anyone in the room got £2,000?" And there was like almost an audible like chortle, like laughter from the room. So he dropped the bidding to £1,000 and it wound up at £2,000. If you bought that car, do get in touch. Apparently it's gone to Worcester, which is near me, except it's not near me because I'm in Cornwall right now. But I'll be back on Sunday night and I'll be building my motorhome, which we won't be driving to Greece. If you're wondering what the status is with the motorhome and why there hasn't been a motorhome update, Phil's gone on holiday, not to Greece. We've gone on holiday, but I've done the interior. All of the walls are decorated, wallpapered, painted. Everything is done for the interior walls. The ceiling is still to do, but my email just pinged and told me that my wallpaper for the ceiling has arrived and I need to buy some lino flooring to do the floor. And then that will be the whole van done and empty, ready for us rebuilding the interior to not drive it to Greece. Thanks for watching.